Welcome to a new video, guys, and today we are trying to understand why it is very easy for you to own a car here in Kenya with a budget from as low as 650,000, and what else is inclusive in your value for money. So in today's video, you're going to have Explore Guy himself to explain this to us, and have your questions in the comment section so that we can be able to respond to you and reach out to you guys through even our platform, the Explore Car Import. So Joseph, tuambie kitu kidogo kuhusu why it is very easy to own a car here in Kenya and why the value for money in what you're trying to advocate as importation.
So thank you very much for that question. You asked me to explain why it is easy to own a car in Kenya. I will explain that in twofold. It is very easy to own a car when you have cash. You see, if you want a car that costs 650,000 and you have that money in your pocket, it becomes extremely easy to own a good car. On the other hand, if you want a good car, or if you want a car and you don't have the full amount in your pocket, it becomes extremely expensive and a very difficult journey, and sometimes a very painful journey. You can ask people who have bought cars through loans. They end up buying bad condition cars. They buy those cars extremely expensive at the end of the loan period, and they actually don't even have the power to negotiate. If you go right now to a dealer and you tell them that you are going to buy your car through hire purchase or through bank finance, they will give you a different price from someone who is buying cash. So it's a difficult story sometimes when people buy cars on loan, but at least you shine. People will not know you have bought a car on loan, so when you drive across the street, at least you have a name. But owning a car is very easy for someone who has cash. And what pains my heart is when I see people who have cash money, yani buying cars like people who did not have cash. I don't know whether you get my point. When you have cash in your pocket, your power to negotiate and power to get a good car is very, very high. You lose that power when you don't have cash money. So if you have cash, okay, you should never buy a car in bad condition. You should never buy a car expensive. You can get a cheap car and a car in good condition, because cash is king.
So talking about cash, we want to understand how much is this cash for it to make it extremely easy for us to even get the smallest of the cart of cars here to Kenya.
Mhm.
And what would you say will be maybe the first step for us to take, especially for us that want to own cars, understand the roads, understand the traffic and everything therein. So what amount is cash acceptable to what amount, and then maybe what options of cars range within that cash amount.
Mhm. So there is this question that I always ask people when people come to me and they tell me they want let's say a Mazda CX-5 or a Suzuki Alto. The first question I ask them is, what is their budget? Okay. Some people tend to think that I will propose cars based on their pocket, the power of their pocket, but that is not actually the case. When you are going to buy a car, your budget should be the first thing to consider, because the budget determines the car you get, that is the model, how big or how small, and also the quality, because all CX-5s don't have the same quality, because these cars are not brand new. They are used in Japan. So every time before you even start to think about the car you want, think about the budget. If you have a flexible budget, better for you, because you can hop between cars, between models, between sizes, between qualities. But if your budget is tight, okay, depart from that point. If your budget is flexible, then consider what your heart wants, what your heart loves. So that is the first thing. With regard to what car you can get for what budget, in local market, unfortunately, when you go to dealers, okay, you'll find some dealers who have, like, maybe in their stock, they will tell you they have like 10 Mazda CX-5. They will tell you these CX-5s, we are selling them for 3 million. Okay, which I think it is a narrative that has been sold to car buyers, and over time we have bought it. But that is a wrong story. These cars are second-hand cars. When you buy them from Japan, You don't buy them at a flat price. Every car comes in at its own price, and price can vary significantly. The difference between a quality CX5 and a bad quality CX5 can be even to up to 1 million. Okay, someone can get this car even at 2.3 million. Another one can buy it at 3.5, depending on the quality you want in terms of mileage, accident history, grade, and use, whether it was a private or public used car. You get my point. So, when you go into a local dealer and they tell you flat price for Nissan Note e-Power is 1.2, you need to ask yourself, were this Nissan Note bought from a showroom with zero mileage? Only zero mileage cars should sell at same price. But a car that has already been used in another market, it can not be a flat price. So I will not answer your question directly by saying that the price of CX5s is 2.5 or 2.8. No, there is no flat price. And that is the beauty of importing. Importation, you get the value for what you pay. But locally, you buy what is being sold. Okay? So if you have 3.5 million for a CX5, you will get high grade, you will get sunroof, you will get leather seat, you will get everything that you want. But if you have 2.6 million for the same, we will have to strip off some of those things and give you the value for what you are paying. And the same thing for every other car model. Answered your question?
Yes, yes. So value speaks more, especially if you're involved directly in bringing your car, other than you just presenting yourself at a dealer shop and just get what they do have. So expound more on this value. What is it that is usually hidden from us, especially if it's our first time, we do not know much about cars, like the story of this Daktari of DNA. So what is usually hidden from us? We call it something the dealer does not want us to know and something that we might not notice.
Mm. So, first of all, I wouldn't say that this information is hidden from us intentionally by the dealers because, in first place, they probably don't even have it. You know, me when I am buying a car from Japan, I intentionally pay for this information. My agent there has to work to get me the information I need about these cars. Okay? I believe some dealers, they don't bother to obtain that information. If they get a Mazda CX5, low mileage, let's say it is 30,000 kilometers, they will take it. As long as it can drive itself, Belen and Numa, they will take it and come and price it as a premium car. Whether it was an accident car, whether it was a flood car, whether it was a car with a history of mileage reversal or a history of recalls that were not fixed, it is not in the business of the dealer to know. They didn't bother. So first of all, it means that they are not hiding this information, but they never put effort to gather that information in first place. So you might go to a dealer in Kenya, they will sell you a car in good faith, believing that it is a good car, but there are things they don't know about that car. And that is where, the pre-purchase inspection in Japan is quite critical. And unlike what we are doing here in Kenya, Japan, everything is documented. You get, so let's say the people who are doing pre-purchase inspection here in Kenya, like for real and whoever, in Japan, people like those have existed for decades. And every pre-purchase inspection they do is uploaded in a central database. And you are able to get those histories that can date back up to 2000, the year 2000. So, not to lose track on your question, there's also many information that you need to dig into a car before you bring it to Kenya. When you bring it to Kenya, is a bit too late to dig for that information. And when you are buying a single unit at a time, you have the time and the luxury to to ask for this information. Sometimes maybe dealers are buying these cars in bulk. Maybe someone is bringing in an order of 50 vehicles. I believe they are not going to pay the $50 to their agent to start digging deeper into the condition of those cars and their histories. You get my point? Because it costs time, it costs money. And after all, Kenyans will not pay for this quality. You get my point? If I dig deep into this car and I tell you it was accident free, it was everything, for sure it will arrive into Kenya at a higher price. Will dealers be able to add a quality premium and sell that car competitively? They will not. If this car gets into Kenya at 2.7, 2.8, how much money will a dealer make if this car gets in at that price? He'll not be able to sell it competitively. So for dealers, they go for affordable cars. Whichever car they get, as long as it can be proven to be in good condition at that point, and they can add their 20-30% markup and still have a competitive price, they'll go for that car. And that is why cars bought in showrooms in Kenya are breaking down weeks after they have been bought. That one I cannot be able to understand. It is unexplainable and understandable. You get my point. It is simply means that that car came in to Kenya already with those issues, and you need to capture those issues before that car leaves Japan. And the beauty is, even if when you purchase a car from the auction, you cannot return it back. The beauty is, if they identify a problem in a car during inspection, that car will be fixed, and it is fixed in Japan using genuine parts, using certified mechanics of that brand in the official dealership. If it is Mazda, it will be taken to the Mazda dealership, and it will have like factory level workmanship. It will come to Kenya as good as new with the original factory parts. But if you fix those issues in Kenya, your car might fall faulty and it will never come back to normal. And the problem with these cars, and I did a video about it, is that if this car starts to develop gearbox issues, or transmission, or engine issues, it doesn't matter the mechanic who will attend to it. This car will never go back to normal. I don't know whether you get my point. Si kama gari za kitambo. Gari za kitambo zilikuwa like ni kama two bolt and nuts. You open, you replace. These ones, they have a lot of technologies. If something goes faulty, that car itarudi barabara, utaweza kuiendesha from point A to B. But the reality is, the power it had, the fuel efficiency, the smooth drive, things will disappear. Ni kama mtu mwenye nilikuwa nasema, ni kama mtu wako 80 years atakumbukanga tu vile nikiwa kidogo mdogo nilikuwa tu nakimbia, nilikuwa nacheza football, I can fall down without any injuries. If that's what happens, if your car is opened, the engine ama gearbox in a change from like you are 23 years, you jump to 60 years, definitely you will still be active and doing some things, but utakuwa tu unasikia this is not my body that
Very power statements there, and a lot of education for most first time car buyers. And this is something that you need to be intentionally working on every time, because now you're intending to have your money put for you to have your car purchased, and you need to dig deeper than what you see in the yards and have information as this. So maybe as we part, what could be that one statement you give out of experience, because now this is your first big car. You've had one others before, but this one was a very big import choice for you. So that one thing that you'll tell viewers as well as precisely first time car buyers.
first time car buyers, if you have cash, don't buy your car locally. This is not because I help people to import, but it will give you a very, very quality car, a car that has a history of cleanliness, a car that you have zero doubt that unless you are involved in an accident or something bad happens, that car will not disturb you for the at least for the next 5 years. But if you don't have cash, as I said, your options are limited. But if you have cash like this, useme niko na 2 million in bank, niko na 5 million, brother, sister, import. If even if it is not explore car imports, go to someone else. But don't buy cars locally if you have cash. Let us leave that alternative to people maybe who are still not confident about importation, who still don't have cash, who still are not patient about waiting for the 2 months. But what you get after importing, go to my channel, Explore TV. You will see testimonials there.
Wewe nimekazia kikoho. Naona
Umemaliza?
So there you have it, guys. For you on the next one. So there you have it. You are very well informed. So keep it explore car imports. We are ready here for you and more information and help you import bigger units than the CX5 as well.
Hiyo gari huwa imeoshwa.